Hi, everybody. I'm Adriana from Sweet Sister Love. How are you doing? I just got back from a bike ride, and this is such a big deal. In 2021 or 2021, I've always had low back pain my whole life. I have a feeling that it came from an injury when I was a kid. I think I was probably like 6 years old. I want to say around that age. And we went on a camping trip. My mom wasn't there. And I was in the hammock. I've always loved being in the hammock. And this friend that I had, who we had a love-hate relationship. We had a vicious friendship. Like, we always played together, but we always ended up fighting. And it was always like really ugly. Like biting, scratching, that kind of thing. And one day on this camping trip, I was in the hammock and she came running into the hammock. And that knocked me out of the hammock and I fell. My memory now tells me that I fell on top of a rock on the left side of like my low back hip area. And it hurt for a long time. I remember when we were driving home from the camping trip, I was still in pain, but everybody was like, stop it, like, stop, enough already. You don't have a bruise, nothing happened to you. And I don't know if you can relate to that kind of experience where you are injured or you are hurt, but you are forced to shake it off, to act like, get over it. And I think that had a two-way mark on me. The physical injury that I still feel to this day, and an area of my body that has been injured again, like in adulthood. I fractured my coccyx, which was terrible. Maybe one day I'll tell that story, but that was pretty terrible. And then the other injury of like people not believing you and people not giving you the care that you need and deserve because of their own ignorance. So in 2021, my stress level, my emotional pain, my perimenopause, what was at its peak, I did not know what was happening to me. My low back pain became really intense. I wasn't ignoring it. I was doing what I could. I was practicing yoga. I was getting massages. I didn't know what else to do. Until one day, it created a spasm so painful that I would equate it to giving birth without a baby. Like the same kind of sharpness, the same kind of intensity that doesn't have the grace of contractions that, come and go. This was like constant, sharp, intense. I could not move. It was painful to move. It was painful to everything. And I was in the hospital for 2 days. Like everybody in the hospital was like, okay, we gave you medicine, like get up and walk now. And I was like, no one is believing me that like I cannot. And for 2 days, I didn't pee, didn't poop, didn't anything. And they wouldn't let me leave the hospital until I at least peed. And I had to be able to sit in a chair to leave the hospital. And that started for me a really long and painful healing journey. I had to learn how to live my life in pain. I had to learn how to do things in pain. I had to learn how to figure out how to put my underwear on while I was in pain. I had to figure out how to teach yoga while I was in pain because at the time it was my only income. I had to figure out how to take a new job while I was in pain, all these things. And along that path, I was also really blessed. Like I was blessed with health insurance that covered me for physical therapy, like unlimited physical therapy. I was blessed to still be, moving and traveling and trying to figure out my life. And I was blessed to find a job that just, I was put on path. I don't know, the easy way of saying it is that I was put on path. And one of the things that I really missed was riding a bike those years. I couldn't imagine leaning forward. I could not imagine, sometimes you're riding a bike and you hit a bump or you have to swerve. I couldn't imagine like tolerating or surviving like a quick movement. I didn't know how that was going to happen. Getting in and out of the car took courage. Like I had to be courageous to move my body. And I talk about it, and I also try to recognize that there are people who are like really suffering. And I know that it isn't, it's not good to do that. It's not good to compare situations or to, diminish your own feeling because you're afraid of how someone else might feel, because you know that they're in pain, and you don't want to make it feel like you're entering into a competition of who was worse. Because the truth is, I've been blessed all along. And I can see that now in retrospect, like how I never walked alone, how I was never abandoned, how God is always with us, and God is always trying to teach us, temperance and discipline. And He's always giving us an opportunity to heal the past, to forgive the past, to forget all of those things, to have a new life, to be renewed. And today when I'm on my way back from my bike ride, I'm really grateful for my body, and I'm really grateful for this bicycle because, my mother's cousin gifted it to me. It was in her hallway for years, and she says she could count the times she rode it on one hand, and she was sick and tired of it. She wanted to get it out of her apartment already. And here I go, like, I'll buy it from you. And she was like, no, you don't have to buy it, just take it, please. And sometimes you just don't know what kind of like tiny blessing, tiny miracle will come your way. I've been very lucky. I've been very favored in that way. And I don't take it lightly. It's not lost on me how absolutely special and loved I am. And this is not to say that I'm perfect or that I'm more deserving. Not at all. I believe that my mother's prayers have covered me, because I do have a very dedicated and devoted mother, and it is teaching me how to cover my sons in prayer as well. Like I'm watching The Chosen. I don't know if you've watched The Chosen. I grew up Catholic, so for me this is the way that I commune with God, even though I have expanded beyond Catholicism and I'm not rigid in my belief system. It is the pathway for me. I believe that Jesus is the way. This is the way I was raised. This is the way I grew up, and hearing and reading and being with Scripture in any way, even if it does come from the TV, for me is deeply meaningful. So I'm just in this space of considering all of the losses and the woes and the difficulties and the challenges, and balancing them out with like the blessings, the riches, the wealth in health and in opportunity that I have had. And I think that if all of us are doing something, even in small ways, to contribute to the happiness of others, that everyone will have this kind of prayer. Everyone would have this kind of day where they're just so happy to ride a bike through the park after a really long time. And how much this enriches our life, how much the simple things enrich our lives, like going for a walk or holding hands with someone you love or riding a bike or sharing an ice cream. These little things are really big things. And we feel those big things when we are in service to that. Like when we are willing to reciprocate generosity. You know what I mean? And so I've come on with this message today that you do something kind, that you enjoy your day today. Do something today that you absolutely enjoy, and then tomorrow take time to do something that can contribute to the joy of others. I like to do this in my day job. I think that it's very important to be in communities, in programs and projects and services that help people in need. And it's not up to us to judge who's in need and who's not in need. It's not up to us to decide who gets help and who doesn't get help. Everybody does. I believe in freedom for all. I believe that borders really don't exist. I mean, if you think about it, I come from a place in Costa Rica where the whales meet. The local beach is the Whale's Tail Beach. It's a natural rock formation in the shape of a whale's tail. And when I think about the whales, first of all, they're the only other female mammals that go through menopause, I believe. They are the memories. They hold memories. And do you know that they travel all of the oceans? Like, they literally go all around the world. They bring their baby. They come to Bahia so that they can give birth to their babies, train their babies, and then go out. They migrate. The birds migrate every spring, every fall, every change of the season. They come and they go. And when we think of the daffodil, you know, that little white flower that you blow on it and you make a wish, those are seeds. And the daffodil is called the global citizen because those seeds travel everywhere. The reason we as a species have survived is because we've been able to move. I mean, we got 2 legs so that we could walk. And walking is one of the healthiest exercises you could do for yourself, for your mental health, for your physical health. So anyone who is opposing immigration is in for a shocking reality, because people are moving, people will move. We have always moved and we will always move. And especially when there are systems oppressing us and we need to find safety. And I think that it's more important right now to spread this awareness, to talk about, you know, it not being wrong and bad that people move through the world. It's not wrong and bad that people cross the border. There is no legal, illegal. This is a falseness. This is not something that God created. This is the abomination. The fact that people are willing to draw a line and say, you stay over there and we can come and go as we please because we're the most powerful, but you stay in your place. This is not the way. This is not what Jesus came to teach us. This is not the example of any good book. And this is not the human spirit. This is something ugly and evil that has come to possess you. If you feel angry towards another group of people just because they are fill in the blank, you are possessed by the most evil thing. And it is of great importance that you humble yourself, that you get on a fucking bicycle and remember that you are alive and that life is a gift and you have no right to deny that from anybody else. I wish that I could do more for Palestine. You know, I think about, like, I wish I could donate. I wish I could give people money. I wish that I was Superman and that I could fly places and melt all of the arms. And I wish that I had this magical power that would create a bubble. And so all of the nuclear weapons would be held inside of this bubble, impenetrable, and no one would be harmed anywhere. I wish that I could reach into the hearts of the people who hold power and command right now and remind them that everybody has the right to to garden, to work, to their dignity, to their livelihood, to the happiness of their children. And that colonization has had a dangerous and violent ripple effect. Even in the colonizer is miserable. And I feel like it's my life's work to turn people's self-loathing into compassion and prosperity. Like, you will prosper when everyone prospers. Like, you will be free when everyone is free. You will be happy when everyone around you is happy. And we know that life is going to be difficult. Like, sharks sometimes eat the baby whales. Like, the tiger or the lion catches the gazelle. And these are sad moments. So we know life teaches us that it's not always going to be. There's an order that we may not ever come to understand. But we're human beings with compassion, with a different sense of intelligence. And we should be using that for our greatest evolution. Like, we've done the war thing. We've done the divide and conquer thing. We've done the, hoard and greed, and we've done that. We've done that. Like, we've done it enough. It's time to turn it around. It's honestly time to turn it around. Like, what does it matter that visitors from other places have Medicaid? Oh, it burdens our system. Don't you think war burdens our system? Don't you think sending people to outer space, which costs billions of dollars, doesn't that burden our system? Like, doesn't it burden the system to have people in power abuse their power? So, there's another way of looking at this. And yeah, my bike ride inspired this chat with you. So I would love to share a little practice with you. We'll just do 2 rounds, okay? I can tap and breathe. The first round, we tap to release and to find this safe place within ourselves. And the second round will be to call things in, to manifest, to believe in ourselves, to reprogram and rewire the system for blessings and love. Love. Period. Love. I release old burdens. I release the old pain in my body. I accept that my body will change, but I release any self-harm. I release stress, anxiety, and habits that keep my body stagnant. I let go of my anger, my sadness. I allow a little bit of process. I allow my brain to understand that I'm not at fault and that there's nothing wrong, but that life has a process that I won't ever understand. And instead of trying to understand, I can replace that with compassion, patience, work. I can work towards something. I can pour that energy that I don't know what to do with into my writing, into my art, into my health. I can always go for a walk. That's free. I release my fears. I trust so much more in the good of humanity than I do in that 1% of evil. I love myself enough to let go of the memory of that intense pain. I forgive and forget what happened when I was 6. I forgive and forget what happened later in life and all the ways that my body was abused and battered, even by myself, doing crazy diets and putting myself through really harsh judgment. I forgive my body for not healing when I wanted it to. I forgive my body for taking its sweet time when I was in a rush. And I let all of that go now. I'm not delusional. I know that my body will get old. I know that I will tire. I know that some things will change and I won't always feel the same. But I also do my very best to keep good health and to sustain myself with good habits and positive thoughts. And I allow so much love in. I love my body. I forgive my body for not being in the shape I wish it was in. I forgive myself for putting my body through all these trials. And I do my best now to reprogram, to communicate to every single cell, every single bone, every blood vessel, every vein, every system, every artery, every muscle, every tendon, every ligament, every function, to give it love. I commit myself to love myself just as I am, taking my time day by day, allowing myself to improve slowly, because slow is gentle and gentle is fast. I love and accept myself and all that I have allowed myself to learn through Jesus, through Christ consciousness, through love as my religion, love as my movement. I love and respect myself for my process, for where I have come to be, for who I am still becoming, for never giving up. I love and forgive myself for every mistake, for every wrongdoing, knowing that I can start over. It's never too late to start over. And the people around me feel that, benefit from it. My well-being serves others. I commit myself to do something, any little thing that I can, to help the causes that free people from oppression and pain. I love myself. I love and forgive myself. I love and respect myself. I love and accept myself. And I'm so grateful that I can ride a bike again. I'm so grateful that the little things are not lost on me. I'm so happy to be enjoying my life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, everybody. I hope that served you in some way. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm Adriana. You can find me at sweetsister.love. Please subscribe to my First Friday newsletter. You can also subscribe to Single and Happy on Substack. And you can find me on most socials as sweetsister.love. Thank you.